sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full. One for the master and one for the dame, and one for the little boy that lives down the lane. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Such fun, and the dish ran away with the spoon. King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he. He called for his pipe, and he called for his bowl, and he called for his fiddlers 3. Every fiddler had a fine fiddle, and the fiddles went tweedledee. Oh, there's none so rare as can compare with King Cole and his fiddlers 3. Then he called for his fifers too, and they puffed and they blew toodaloo. And King Cole laughed as his glass he quaffed, and his fifers puffed toodaloo. Then he called for his drummer boy, the army's pride and joy. And the thuds out rang with a loud bang bang, and the noise of the noisiest toy. Then he called his trumpeters, 4 who stood at his own palace door. And they played trang-a-tang whilst the drummer went bang, and King Cole he called for more. King Cole called for a man to conduct, who into his bed had been tucked. And he had to get up with a bite or sup, and waggle his stick and conduct. Old King Cole such rare antics to see. There never was a lad in merry England who was half as merry as he. Put the kettle on, Polly, put the kettle on, Polly, put the kettle on, we'll all have tea. Suki, take it off again, Suki, take it off again, Suki, take it off again, they've all gone away. La 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 sheep's in the meadow, the cow's in the corn. Where is the boy that looks after the sheep? He's under the haystack fast asleep. Will you wake him? No, not I, for if I do, he'll be sure to cry. try and drown poor pussycat, who ne'er did any harm, but killed all the mice in the farmer's barn. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating the curds away. There came a big spider who sat down beside her and frightened Miss Muffet away. Goosey, Gander, whither shall I wander? Upstairs and downstairs and in my lady's chamber. There I met an old man who would not say his prayers. I took him by the left leg and threw him down the stairs. Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 24 blackbirds baked in a pie. When the pie was opened, the birds began to sing. Wasn't that a dainty dish to set before the king? The king was in the counting house, counting out his money. The queen was in the parlour, eating bread and honey. The maid was in the garden, hanging out the clothes, when down came a blackbird and pecked off her nose. A pocket full of posies, a tissue, we all fall down. Hickory dickory dock, a mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck one, the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock. like snow. And what will poor Robin do then, poor thing? He'll sit in a barn and keep himself warm and hide his head under his wing, poor thing. Little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating a Christmas pie. He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." Stole those tarts and took them right away. Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row. Pat a cake, baker's man, bake me a cake as fast as you can. Pat it and prick it and mark it with B. Put it in the oven for baby and me. Georgie Porgie, pudding and pie, kissed the girls and made them cry. When the boys came out to play, Georgie Porgie ran away. Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep and doesn't know where to find them. Leave them alone and they'll come home, bringing their tails behind them. Little Bo Peep fell fast asleep and dreamt she heard them bleating. But when she awoke she found it a joke, for they were still a-fleeting. Then up she took her little crook, determined for to find them. She found them indeed, but it made her heart bleed, for they'd left their tails behind them. alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go again. Why did you let it go? Because it bit my finger so. Which finger did it bite? This little finger on the right. Little pig went to market, this little pig stayed at home. This little pig had roast beef and this little pig had none. And this little pig went wee 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 all the way home. See how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife, who cut off their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a thing in your life as 3 blind mice? Willie Winkie runs through the town, upstairs and downstairs in his nightgown, rapping at the windows, crying at the lock. Are all the children in their beds? It's past 8 o'clock. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. She was very, very good, but when she was bad, she was horrid. She stood on her head on the truckle bed, with nobody by for to hinder. She screamed and she squalled, she yelled and she bawled, and drummed her heels against the window. To play, the moon is shining bright as day. Come with a whistle, come with a call, come with goodwill or don't come at all. Simon went a-fishing for to catch a whale. All the water he had got was in his mother's pail. Simple Simon went a-hunting for to catch a hare. He rode a goat about the streets but couldn't find one there. He went to try if cherries ripe did grow upon a thistle. He pricked his finger very much, which made poor Simon whistle. He went for water in a sip, but soon it all ran through. And now poor simple Simon bids you all adieu. Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub, and who do you think they be? The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, turn 'em out knaves all three.